All right, welcome to the explainer. So, you've got that little spark of an idea, right? That thing you can't stop thinking about. Well, today we're going to break down the actual step by step journey of how you can take that idea and turn it into a real, living, breathing business.
I mean, who hasn't, right? That dream of calling your own shots, building something that's truly yours from the ground up? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to map out exactly how that dream can become a reality. So here's our game plan, our roadmap for this whole journey. We've broken it down into four main parts. First, the idea and the market. Then, gathering your resources. After that, we'll get into the rules of the game. And finally, we'll talk about launching and what comes next. All right, let's jump right in. Section 1. Every single amazing business you can think of, from that local coffee shop you love to the biggest tech companies in the world, they all started in the exact same place, right here, with a solid idea and a real understanding of who they were making it for.
And this is probably the most important thing to get right. A killer business idea isn't just something you think is awesome. No, it has to solve a real problem for other people, something that bugs them. And just as important, it has to connect with what you're actually good at and what you're passionate about, because that's where the fuel to keep going comes from.
Okay, so you think your idea is great. Fantastic. But will anyone actually pay for it? I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? This is where you have to stop dreaming and start investigating. You got to get out of your own head and see what the real world thinks.
So, this is your checklist. First things first, who exactly are you trying to sell to? And I mean exactly. Don't just say people. Are they college students, new parents? What do they need? Then, the big one, are they actually willing to open their wallets for what you're offering? And while you're at it, you've got to scope out the competition. Who's already doing something similar? What are their prices? You're basically a detective looking for a gap in the market, a place where you can fit in by being better or maybe cheaper or just different.
Okay, so your idea has legs. People are interested. Now for the fun part, actually building it. It's time to start gathering all the pieces you need to bring this thing to life. Welcome to the build phase. And right off the bat, we've got to talk about money. Capital. As you can see, there are a few common ways to fund this dream. Maybe you've been stashing away your own savings. Or maybe you'll turn to family and friends. Or you could go the more traditional route with a bank loan. Honestly, it doesn't matter where the money comes from. What matters is that you have a rock-solid plan for how you're going to spend every single penny.
Next up, where is your business actually going to, live? It needs a home, right? And whether that's a physical shop on Main Street or a sleek little spot on the internet, this choice is huge. It completely defines how your customers find you and interact with you. And these two paths are totally different animals. If you're going for a brick and mortar store, you're obsessing over things like rent, safety, and how many people walk by your window every day. But if you're online, your concerns are completely different. You're worried about having a super reliable internet connection and figuring out how the heck you're going to ship your products. It's a whole different set of puzzles to solve. And then there's the actual stuff you need to operate, your toolkit, basically. What do you need to make your product or deliver your service? Could be raw materials like wood or fabric. It could be tools, equipment, or the right software. And a huge one here, you need suppliers you can count on. Having an unreliable supplier can sink you before you even start. It's absolutely non-negotiable. Okay, team, you've got your brilliant idea. You've got your resources lined up, but now we got to talk about the rules of the game. These are the nuts and bolts, the skills and regulations that can make or break your entire venture. So, what's the single most important resource in your new business? It's you. Seriously, your ability to actually manage the day-to-day, to talk to customers, and to have a basic grasp of your finances, that's everything. Look, you don't have to be a genius accountant or a world-famous CEO, but you do need to know enough to keep the ship pointing in the right direction. All right, let's talk pricing, and this quote, it really nails it. It's this tricky balancing act, right? If you price your stuff too high, nobody buys it. But if you price it too low, you can't cover your costs and, well, you won't be in business for very long. So how do you find that magic number? It really comes down to balancing these three things. First, you have to know your costs, down to the last cent. Second, do your homework on the competition. What are they charging? And third, and this one's a bit of an art, you have to figure out what customers are willing to pay. What do they feel your product is actually worth? That's all about value. Okay, deep breaths. Time for the legal stuff. I know, this part can feel super intimidating, but it's actually more straightforward than you think. You've just got to follow the steps. You register your business, you get whatever licenses and permits your field needs, and then you just follow the rules. This isn't about jumping through hoops, it's about building a solid, legitimate foundation for your business from the very beginning. And here we are, the home stretch. This is the moment you've been working for. You've done all the prep, all the planning. Now it's time to hit the go button, launch this thing, and start thinking about the future. It's time to go and to grow.
Look, you could have the best product in the world, but if nobody knows it exists, it doesn't matter. You have to get the word out. And that can mean anything from advertising on social media to making sure your branding and packaging look amazing. Even just good old-fashioned word of mouth. Every single interaction is a chance to connect with your customers.
Okay, let's hit pause on the excitement for just a second and get real. This whole journey, it's not always going to be easy. It's not all big wins and viral posts. A huge part of being a successful entrepreneur is being realistic and knowing that there are going to be some challenges ahead. And these are some of the big ones you've got to keep on your radar. Yeah, there's always the risk of losing money. That's just part of the game. New competitors can pop out of nowhere, and customer tastes, they can change in a heartbeat. The point here isn't to be scared of these things. It's to be prepared for them, to have a plan.
So there you have it. We've walked through the whole thing, from that first spark of an idea to gathering your resources, learning the rules, and facing the risks. We've laid out the map. And now, really, there's only one question left to ask. Knowing everything that lies ahead, the good and the tough, are you ready to start?